One thing I love at Vista is that though I did give you a glimpse into the typical day, no day is similar to the other day.
Hi, welcome to Slate, your very own school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters.
Today we have Miss Ramya, who works as an English educator at Vista International School located in Hyderabad. So to get to know more insights about the school and her teaching journey so far, let's have a conversation with her. Hi ma'am.
Hello.
To begin with, what does a typical day look like for you at Vista International School?
Well, the typical day at Vista starts around 8:30ish in the morning. I love the start of the day a lot because it means coming to the front desk, to sign the attendance and all that. But this warm feeling when everyone smiles at you warmly, welcoming. So that's how the day typically starts, setting the mood for the day. And then we go to our classes, go about our classes and corrections. We have a ton of them. And then we have wing meetings or department meetings. But one thing I love at Vista is that though I did give you a glimpse into the typical day, no day is similar to the other day.
Got it. So talking about your teaching approach, how do you make your English lessons engaging for the students of different learning levels? Like what strategies do you use to build confidence in students who are shy or struggle with English?
So my initial ice-breaking sessions, what I do personally is get to know them better using VAC questionnaires. So that helps me assess the class dynamics and make me understand the lesson plans or the resources or even classroom interactions, like which way it should be. So I plan accordingly the resources, the teaching aids, and we do a lot many activities, and I ensure that each student feels that they are seen or heard, also challenged, and they have a safe place to do. And this includes a lot of trust building activities, like we do circle activities, circle time activities, and especially like you said, the underconfident students, they do need a confidence to come in front of their peers, their teachers, to speak. And what this all my circle activities, and I even had one today, are nonsensical. You don't need to make sense, you just need to express. And that for me, especially during the initial months, will build that rapport with the students such that they come. And we have sessions going forward, like you have to use the vocabulary, like you have to use the word that you have learned newly this week, or you have in the recent lesson, what did you learn? So that builds up the vocabulary, that builds up the confidence, and going forward, it becomes a lot easier.
So how do you use technology in your teaching style? If you can talk about any of such initiatives you have taken so far.
So what we do apart from the typical, worksheet preparation, examination preparation, all this, we do have smart sense boards in every class. So we can use audiovisual resources to introduce or reiterate and sometimes even to assess. Apart from that, these days we are using AI also in teaching, like we have Kahoot or quizzes that help us, bring in quizzes or hands-on activities to children. And students do make presentation, digital projects, and they speak. So we are inadvertently building up on their LSRW skills as well.
Got it. So analyzing of a student. So what signs do you look for to know if a student is improving in English or not? And what are the actions that you take accordingly?
At Vista, especially in my classes, I don't wait till, the exams or results to assess a student. Every learning session at Vista concludes with a 5-minute focus segment called CFU, Check for Understanding. So what we do in that 5 minutes is ask open-ended questions that would result in discussions or debates sometimes, or just reflections on what we have learned. And I, being a teacher of literature, I make it a point to connect it with the everyday things that one sees. So this helps them speak, express. We do correct them when required, but usually we give them the space at least to come forward and express. So that, and we have, apart from the typical examinations, and most all our higher grades, the question papers mirror the board patterns. because NEP is shifting its paradigm towards competency-based assessments. So we ensure that our students learn very early on to, increase to how to answer competency-based questions. And there is this personal feed forward. We don't call it feedback, we call it feed forward. So we give this feed forward to every student that is personalized. And we ensure we follow up that this person is picking it. Not just that, you look at our English classworks, the correction. We don't mention that this sentence is wrong. We rewrite the sentence so that student can learn. And hence we see that this learning is very dynamic. It's not just parked for the exams.
Got it. So every teacher has got a success story that they feel very proud of their teaching journey. So can you share a success story of a student who improved significantly in your class?
Okay, there is this one success story that, like, you feel on the top of the Everest whenever a student says, "Ma'am, I nailed this because of you." But there is one thing, and back then I wasn't an English teacher, I was a math teacher, right? So I was taking grade 7 math, and there was this student, a girl who was an international student at that point, and she was petrified of math. I mean, she had nightmares. And one day over the year, she gets a centum in one of the periodic tests. She gained. And the next day, she comes to me, she says that, "Ma'am, I don't believe I received centum, so much so that I placed this answer script below my, underneath the pillow and slept on it to make sure that math wouldn't give me a nightmare anymore." So I think that was high point. That was basically initial days of my teaching, and that sort of made me realize that this is my ikigai, this is the place where I am supposed to be, and that.
Got it. Can you also talk about what do you enjoy most about teaching English?
So, like I said, I was a math teacher earlier, right? And I was a class teacher back then. I used to have lunch with all my students, and they used to ask me questions, any subject. That was our time to bond. And I'm an avid reader. I am very passionate about literature. So in passing, when the coordinator was there and I said, "Ma'am, make me an English teacher, such beautiful lessons I can teach," and all that. So, and then down the lane, call it manifestation, call it the universe calling, I'm an English teacher now, right? So the best part is for me when the students understand the beauty in the literature. Teaching English is very underrated, I feel, because the beauty of literature cannot be taught, it has to be felt. So, as an English teacher, when they understand the poet's perception, when they get that figures of speech, at that moment, I really enjoy bringing to them that moment.
Got it. So can you talk about the freedom that you have at Vista International School to bring any initiatives in your teaching style?
Vista is very flexible in that regard. It does give me the freedom to plan my lessons my own way. There is no rigid thing that you should do it only this way. I can change it, and not just in the planning stage, even at the stage of execution. You go into a class, you read the room, you sense the mood, and say, this strategy won't work. I can change it. I can make it any strategy. I needn't be confined to the classroom. I can take my students out. I can bring in resources from whatnot. I can tell stories, especially with English, when you have the opportunity to go above and beyond. I have every means to do so. There is no restriction, there is no shortage of resources, and even you get appreciated for any new thing you bring on board. Like we have done a book club, and it was instantly recognized, acknowledged. And that sort of fuels our passion too, that I can do this to a student. So I think that way it's a very good place to experiment, to show that it needn't be one way. There are many ways, many strategies that can really, it is deeply fulfilling, that part.
Got it. So coming to the end of our interview, if you would like to suggest parents who are looking for the schools in Hyderabad, especially Vista International School, what would you suggest them?
For parents who are looking for schools, I would definitely say look no further. Vista is like one-stop solution to all types of issues. Any concern of the parent immediately addressed. Academics, our results speak for themselves. So I'm not speaking about results because you see the results of Vista this year. Apart from that, we have equal platforms for sports, public speaking. We have events every month and we pull students the confidence levels. We have these public speaking platforms in classrooms, outside the classrooms, and we are doing our own month. So what I feel, and I'm a parent teacher, like both my kids are Vista products, and I'm very proud of them. The way they grow, not just academically, but holistically, it's a wonder. You see to believe it. So for parents, yes, please, it's a one-stop solution. Look no further.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining and sharing some of the great
Yeah.
insights about the school. I'm sure this will help for parents who are watching this video. Yeah.
Yeah, my pleasure. Nice speaking to you. Thank you.